Okay, excuse me. So today in this video, I've already done two others, I'm going to discuss the topic of Luciferianism and Satanism. Now, like I did with my magic video, I want to go into a type of introduction as to how I got interested initially into this subject and why. And perhaps it can give you a little bit of some understanding as to why I chose this path. Okay, so I mentioned before in another video that I had grown up into a very Christian family. I was consistently, I guess in a way, I'd say persecuted in a way by my own family for my ideas. Excuse me. And when I say persecuted, I mean quite literally. They wanted me to do nothing with anything magic related, anything satanic, anything they deemed as evil. Now, again, this began whenever I was very young. I was 13 years old when I initially got into Satanism. This happened one day whenever I was on a computer in the library, and I thought, randomly, the thought of demons came to mind, and then I thought of angels, and then I thought of just, like, what's the difference, you know? And I began to ponder something in the back of my head, because I had been doing paganistic practices for about 2 years. I had begun meditation, shamanistic meditation, from a traditional perspective, and it helped me in a lot of ways. It helped me relieve stress, but I needed something more. I felt like that air element curiosity coming to me and telling me to study more. But I didn't know what to study. You know, I learned the fundamentals of Wicca and everything like that. So, out of complete randomness almost, I just typed in guardian demons in Google and I searched it. I came across a site which I will not go into too much detail about, but I think this site I came across, as I learned in the forums for it, that the most common way a lot of people who were my age at the time found it was by searching up guardian demons and subjects relating to summoning, you know, just demons. It was, I guess, a teen curiosity for a lot of people into Satanism, or dabbling in it, or who were just new to it. Now, the topic of a demon being able to protect me was really just, I mean, it was curious. I mean, it's something you don't usually think about. When you hear demon, you often think of something that's going to hurt you, but you don't think of it possibly wanting to protect you. So it's kind of almost ridiculous sounding to want to find out how to summon one and attempt to find out if it wants to protect you or not, or whatever the process entailed. Now, the first site that I actually found that talked about Satanism, this is a very common site. Most people come across at some point who are seriously into Satanism, and most people try not to speak of the site because it is so, it's just, if it works for you then that's fine, but it's called the JOS, Joy of Satan. Yes, it sounds funny already, I know. But anyways, I have to think in a way. The topics that were on the site, the meditations, is what really helped me the most, because the actual practices on the site and the fundamentals behind it initially led me to something greater than that. And so the site itself, is it sort of propagated, if you want to call it that, in a way? Probably. I won't go into detail about what. You can find out yourself if you want, or if you're familiar with the site, you know I don't need to say anything else. But let's just say that the rituals, the ideas, there's a lot of stuff there that can be useful to the new person, but do not take anything too seriously, as in, do not let that tell you that's the only way to connect to the energies, the satanic current, if you will. Don't let that be your only way of doing things, because you will make a lot of mistakes, as I did. Now, with my initial interest in Satanism, I began to write a lot. I wrote a lot of personal notes. I wrote a lot of my own satanic chants. I wrote a lot of just random rituals I just, came up with because I was bored, and I'm in class, and after I'm done with things in school, I need something else to do, so I write about a lot of satanic things. I mean, and now a person who is like coming from a Christian background, like I was, or who is still predominantly Christian, may wonder, why in the fuck would anyone want to be a Satanist? What good is there for you out of that? Well, for a Satanist, even to the people who actually worship Satan as a real being, even to those people, they are still worshiping themselves in their mind. Because the idea behind Satanism is liberation. It's self-preservation to a lot of people. And like I said, it differs from person to person. Different people will experience different things initially in starting it. And these practices are not for everybody. I will say that right now. They are not necessarily for everybody. Everyone can learn them, but in the state the world is in now, with the human mind, there's a lot of things that can happen from such drastic and powerful ideas that many people cannot handle. And I almost couldn't handle a lot of it, but I forced myself to keep learning anyways and experiencing the things that many people would probably be terrified and run away from. So, I mean, think of it this way. What is the psychology behind someone wanting to watch a scary movie in a theater with their friends? What's the psychology behind wanting to watch or play a scary video game by yourself? It's that curious, mysterious aspect. It's that impending something's going to happen, potentially. Even though I know it's just me playing the game, it's just me doing it myself. It's that fear aspect that gets people's attention. It's that mysterious aspect more so than the fear aspect. Although fear may come as a result of the mysterious and the unknown, if you will. Why would anyone want to pursue that? Well, it's because it's fun. That's why it's a thrill-seeking type thing almost for some people. And so initially in the early stages, the people that are seeking cheap thrills and things like that with Satanism or rituals, they may get more than they bargained for and actually get an actual real result that they never expected was possible. And they might have actually been dabbling and making fun of it even, just to be like, oh, well, let's all get drunk and go do a ritual in the forest and see what happens. They see it as fun at the time. And then they may actually see something very real that they created in a way. They projected it. They opened the doors to manifest that experience, that result from their ritual. And they might be scared shitless afterward and be afraid to touch anything ever again because of their fear. That energy they generated attaches to that fear energy that they then in turn put off. And that's why so-called hauntings or curses happen to the person from what they did. It's not that there's anything evil actually attacking them, it's their own doing. It is always their own doing. This is what I learned from a lot of negative repercussions in my early stages, is that looking back, I know very well it was my own doing from not listening to my own instinct, from not listening to my own intuition, and for doubting myself. Doubt is a terrible thing when used in magic. It is a very chaotic and unwanted thing. Because doubt hinders the ability of the magician. Now, Satanism means different things to different people. Many people look at the Church of Satan as sort of a only way to do things. And I'm sorry for sort of laughing. I don't know. It's just a natural response, I guess, because I know people watching the Church of Satan won't take it seriously, and they shouldn't, because even they don't take themselves too seriously a lot of the time. And I can respect that. I can highly respect that, because regardless if you believe LaVeyan Satanism is, a joke or not, because a lot of people do see it that way. They do. A lot of Satanists and other groups see the Church of Satan as just plain, trash. They see it as a con man, getting his, his money, his 15 minutes of fame type thing. They see him as, well, he knew what he was doing in magic, but he was just a con man because he was just a joke to people. But you see, you gotta acknowledge the fact that regardless of what you think about LaVeyan Satanism, you cannot deny the fact that it has been responsible for several new accelerations in presenting the left-hand path to people. And you see, I can greatly respect what Anton LaVey did.